Hey, what's going on, guys? PvP and Chili here, and we're going to talk about the Messerschmitt 262, or the ME262. We're going to talk about the history, we're going to play a couple games in it. Actually, I already played a couple games in it. This is post-recorded commentary, so... Post-commentary, why the hell did I not just say that? Alright. So, basically, the 262... was designed in 1939, from what I know. I'm about to read off a Wikipedia page, so, yeah. But from what I know, the 262 was the first jet aircraft. Its first flight, I believe, was 1939. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe 1941, somewhere in those numbers. Now we're going to read off of the Wikipedia page. The ME262, nicknamed the Schwalbe, I probably pronounced that one wrong, but that's German for swallow, and fighter versions, or Sturmvogel, which is Stormbird, and fighter bomber versions was the world's first operational jet aircraft. Design work started before World War II began, but problems with the engines. Metallurgy? I'm not exactly sure what that means, but... Oh, but it butchered! And top-level interference kept the aircraft from operational status with the Luftwaffe. Until mid-1944, the ME262 was faster and more heavily armed than any Allied fighter, including the British Meteor. One of the most advanced aviation designs and operational use during World War II, the ME262's roles included light bomber, reconnaissance, and experimental night fighter. The ME262's pilots claimed a total of 542 Allied aircraft shot down. Although higher claims are sometimes made, the Allies countered its effectiveness in the air by attacking it on the ground and during takeoff and landings. Engine reliability problems from the pioneering nature of its Junkers UMO 004 Axis Flow turbojet engines, the first ever placed in mass production, and attacks by Allied forces on field supplies during the deteriorating war situation also reduced the effectiveness of the aircraft. As a fighting force, in the end, the ME262 had a negligible impact on the course of the war as a result of its late introduction and consequently small numbers put into operational use. And let me put this into perspective. The very first jet aircraft pulled 500 kills. The Hellcat pulled 5,000 kills. And these are not even exact numbers. So, that just states how much better the Hellcat was. I mean, the 262 was in design, before World War II began. And I think it's the same way. Actually, the Hellcat, I don't know much history on the Hellcat. I'm going to do a video on that soon. Learn a little bit of history about it. Because it can't hurt. History is great. Sometimes. Oh. Whew. I had an eyelash in my eye for a moment. But yeah, first jet aircraft was designed before World War II even began, which is amazing. Germany had some real work and had some real scary, had some real scary engineers and designers working for them, man. And also, before anyone asks, I'm flying the C-1a because I don't have the C-2b and I just don't like the A1 at the current moment. I think it's too slow. And yeah, it's 7.0, but it's just not my cup of tea right now. I like top tier 8.0, 9.0. Plus, I don't want to run into Yak 23s. My god, if I ran into Yak 23s playing this thing, I'd probably shoot myself. No, I don't deal with Yak 23s. I avoid them, and I play every tier above and below. Just not in range of the Yak 23. Pardon me, I just woke up. But yeah, here we are, we're getting into the engagement. Only took half a lifetime. With the C-2B, it's a lot quicker, but we're gonna go for that saber. We're gonna pop in right behind it. Gonna get some nice shots right here. Look at that. And this should be like, what? My 5th game playing this, so it's not bad. Now enjoy the beautiful content as of what this is. Now, while German use of the aircraft ended with the close of World War II, a small number were operated by the Czechoslovak Air Force until 1951. Captured ME262s were studied and flight tested by the major powers and ultimately influenced the design of post-war aircraft such as the North American F-86 Sabre and the Boeing B-47 Stratojet. Several aircraft survive on static display in museums, and there are several privately built flying reproductions that use modern General Electric J85 engines. Also, rip you, Sabre. I feel bad for you, but you should know doing too many rolls in a Sabre, you go straight into a flat spin. Too many rolls in a jet, you go into a flat spin. I tried to get this guy, but this Cougar, I really feel bad for this guy. He had all the rights to kill me. And I just tapped him. And that caused him to go into the drink. Never go inverted that close to the ground. And this is where I died. That's why I popped smoke. I knew I was dead. I wasn't making it back to base. But it's not a bad game. 2 kills. 1 in the drink. Actually, 1 in the drink and 1 just opened up for me. It was glorious. I mean, granted, I was getting that kill either way. I almost could have survived this. If I hadn't had that major damage to the right inner wing, I might have been able to survive it. I'm desperately trying the defensive play here, and it's kind of working until I lose control right here. And then I die. But 2-kill game. And that's also what's going to happen in the next game. I get 2 kills, but they're higher skill kills. I think. Yeah, I think they're higher skill. And these games happened back to back, which was sweet. Now, okay. Now, let's talk about the design and development of this aircraft. Or actually, no, this is the origin of the aircraft. Several years before World War II started, the Germans foresaw the great potential for the aircraft that used the jet engine, constructed by Hans Ohein. I'm not going to try to say his name because I butcher everything. In 1936. 1936, that's fucking early, man. Germans, they were insane, but not like bad insane. Okay, bad insane. What they did was bad, but the thing is that they could create. That's just scary, like scary powerful, man. And you know, just think about what they could have done if they had what they needed. It's really scary. And apparently, the Germans were already trying to mess with nukes really early on. It's just crazy, man. And this is what I heard. I'm not reading from a historical book. This is what I heard from a friend. And, yeah. But yeah, yeah. Oh god. I'm yawning again. I probably shouldn't be doing readings directly after I wake up. Alright, well, after successful test flights of the world's first jet aircraft, the Heinkel HE-178, within a week of the invasion of Poland to start the war, they adopted the jet engine for an advanced fighter aircraft. As a result, the ME262 was under development as Project 1065. Before the start of World War II, the project originated with a request by the RLM Ministry of Aviation for a jet aircraft capable of 1 hour's endurance and a speed of at least 530 miles per hour and 850 kilometers an hour. Dr. Waldemar Volt headed the design team, with Messerschmitt's chief of development, Robert Lusser, overseeing. Plans were first drawn up in April 1939. Okay, so this was developed in 1939, or designed in 1939. And the original design of the very first... Okay, the original design was very different from the aircraft that eventually entered service, with wing root mounted engines rather than potted ones. When submitted in June 1939, the progression of the original design was delayed greatly by technical issues involving the new jet engine because these engines were slow to arrive. Messerschmitt moved the engines from the wing roots to the underwing pods, allowing them to be changed more readily if needed. This would turn out to be important, both for availability and maintenance. Since the BMW 003 jets proved heavier than anticipated, the wing was swept slightly by 18.5 degrees to accommodate a change in the center of gravity. Now, I want to check out... Yeah, this one I want to check out. The operational history. On the 19th of April... On April 19th, 1944, I'm not going to try to read that because I don't know German names, and whoa. It sounds like a April Bung Command. Okay, so from what I've gathered from that, it is an elite squad of 262 pilots. I'm just going to call it the Commandos. The Commando 262 was formed at Lechfield, just south of Augsburg, as a test unit. Interesting. To introduce the 262 into service and train a corps of pilots to fly it on the 26th of July, 1944. Lieutenant Alfred Schreiber, with the 262 A-1A, damaged a Mosquito reconnaissance aircraft number 540 Squadron of the RAF, PR Squadron, which was allegedly lost in a crash upon landing at an airbase in Italy. Other sources state the aircraft was damaged during evasive maneuvers and escape. Major Walter... Oh, that's going to be interesting to try to pronounce. Major Walter Nowotny, I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, was assigned as a commander after the death of Thryfielder in July 1944, and the unit redesignated Commando Nowotny, I butchered that again, essentially a trials and development unit. It mounted the world's first fighter jets operations. Trials continued slowly with initial operational missions against the Allies. In August of 1944, the unit made claims for 19 Allied aircraft in exchange of 6 ME262s lost. Despite orders to stay grounded, Nowotny chose to fly a mission against an enemy bomber formation flying some 30,000 feet above. On the 8th of November, 1944, he claimed two P-51Ds destroyed before suffering engine failure at high altitude. Then, while diving and trying to restart his engines, he was attacked by other Mustangs, forced to bail out, and died. The commando was then withdrawn for further flight training and revision of combat tactics to optimize the 262's strength. Okay. Oh man, this is a lot of reading here. But I know what I signed up for. I like this. Let's talk about some of their anti-bomber tactics. The ME262 was so fast that German pilots needed new tactics to attack Allied bombers, and in the head-on attack, closing speed of around 320 meters per second, 1,050 feet per second, was too high for accurate shooting, even from astern. The closing speed was too great to use the short-range 30mm cannon to maximum effect. Therefore, a roller coaster attack was devised. The 262s approached from astern and about 1,800 meters higher than the bombers. From about 5 kilometers behind, 3.1 miles, they went into a shallow dive that took them through the escort fighters with little risk of interception. When they were about 1.5 kilometers astern and 450 meters below the bombers, they pulled up shortly to reduce speed. On leveling off, they were 1,000 meters astern and overtaking the bombers at about 150 kilometers, well placed to attack them. Since the 30mm MK108 short barrels and low velocity, I messed up. Okay. MK108s were slow and rendered inaccurate beyond 600 meters, coupled with the jet's velocity, which required breaking off at 200 meters. To avoid colliding with the target, the ME262's pilot normally commenced firing at 500 meters. Gunners of Allied bomber aircraft found their electrically powered gun turrets had problems tracking the jets. Target acquisition was difficult because the jets closed into firing range quickly and remained in firing position, only briefly using their standard attack profile, which proved more effective. Interesting, that just cuts off. Counter-jet tactics. The ME262 is difficult to counter because its high speed and rate of climb made it hard to intercept. However, as with other turbojet engines at the time, the ME262's engines did not provide sufficient thrust at low airspeeds, and throttle response was slow, meaning in certain circumstances, such as takeoff and landing, the aircraft became a vulnerable target. Another disadvantage that pioneering jet aircraft World War II era shared was the high risk of compressor stall, and if throttle movement were too rapid, the engines could suffer a flameout. The coarse opening of the throttle would cause fuel surging and lead to excessive jet pipe temperatures. Pilots were instructed to operate the throttle gently and avoid quick changes. German engineers introduced an automatic throttle regulator later in the war, but if only partly alleviated the problem. Oh, that's it. I messed up. I meant to say it only alleviated part of the problem. The plane had, by contemporary standards, a high wing load of 300 kilograms that required higher takeoff and landing speeds due to poor throttle response. The engine's tendency for airflow disruption that could cause the compressor to stall was I'm not going to try to pronounce that one. The high speed of the ME262 also presented problems when engaging enemy aircraft. High-speed convergence, allowing the ME262 pilots little time to line up their targets and acquire acquire the appropriate amount of deflection. The problem faces any aircraft that approaches another from behind at much higher speed, as the slower aircraft can always pull a tighter turn, forcing the faster aircraft to overshoot. Huh. About 1,400 262s were produced, but a maximum of 200 at any one, or but a maximum of 200 were operational at any one time. According to the sources, they destroyed from 300 to 450 enemy planes, with Allies destroying about 100 262s in the air. While Germany was bombed intensively, production of the 262 was dispersed into low-profile production facilities, sometimes little more than clearings in the forests of Germany and occupied countries. Through the end of February to the end of March 1945, approximately 60 ME262s were destroyed in attacks on Obertraubling and 30 at Leipheim. The Neuberg jet plane itself was bombed 19th of March 1945. Large, heavily protected underground factories were constructed to take up production of the 262, safe from bomb attacks, but the war ended before they could be completed. Wings were produced in Germany's oldest motorway tunnel at Engelberg to the west of Stuttgart. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Austria, slave laborers of concentration camp Gusen II produced fully equipped fuselages for the ME262 at a monthly rate of 450 units on large assembly lines from early 1945. Oh my god. We'll talk a little bit of the post-war history. After the end of the war, the ME262 and other advanced German technologies were quickly swept up by the Soviets, British, and Americans as part of the USAAF's Operation Lusty. Many 262s were found in readily repairable condition and were confiscated. The Soviets, British, and Americans wished to evaluate technology, particularly the engines. During testing, the 262 was found to be faster than the Meteor and had better visibility to the sides and rear, mostly due to the canopy frames, and was a superior gun platform to the Cluster Meteor F1, which had a tendency to snake at high speed and exhibited weak aileron responses. The 262 had a shorter range than the Meteor and had less reliable engines. The United States Air Force compared the Shooting Star to the 262, and the 262 was superior in acceleration and speed. With similar climb performances, 262 appeared to have a higher critical Mach number than any American fighter. Oh, yeah, because it was superior. Oh, man. Okay. Now, the primary production version of the 262 was the ME262 A-1A Schwalbe. But there were other prototypes. You have the pre-production, which was the A0, with the UMO 004 turbo engines. There were 23 built. You've got the A1A U1, a single prototype with a total of 6 nose-mounted guns, 2 20s and 2 30s. Oh, wow. That's scary, actually. A 262 with 2 20mm, 2 30mm MK103s, and 2 30mm MK108s. It's not telling me the ammunition count, but that's still fucking scary. I totally thought this F9F here spotted me, but it didn't. Wait, that's an F2H, correction. Wait, is it? From here, I can't really see it that well. Yeah, it's an F9F. Okay, my bad. It's a pretty nice shot. Oh, yeah, that was a good shot. But, yeah. Then you've got the ME262 A2A Sturm Bogle, which I believe is actually in game as an event vehicle. It has only the two lower 30mm MK108s. Wow, there were a shit ton of variants. Alright, this is the aircraft I'm flying currently in this game, right now. It's a C-1a, single prototype, made from the 262A work number 130-186 of rocket-boosted interceptor Heimatschütze 1 with Walter HWK 109 and 509 liquid-fueled rockets in the tail. First flown with combined jet rocket power on the 27th of February 1945. And the C2B is what I'm going for. Also, this F40 here, I believe. You're mean. But, yeah. That's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of history on the 262. And if you guys did, please leave a like. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite part about the history of the aircraft was. Let me know how I did. Give me some tips to fly this thing better. Just drop anything in the comments. And if there's any vehicle you want to hear some history about on, drop it in the comments as well. The highest voted one, I'll do. Or the one I want to. No, the highest voted one I'll do. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys later. And please do not forget to subscribe to my sexy channel.